And the reason I'm smiling is because I always hated it when politicians would get up and give a 2-minute thing and then disappear. But I really have to disappear. There are several things that have to do with our government which have to be dealt with, so I apologize in advance. So Sir Sergio Hart is the head of the Academy's Humanities division. He's not here yet, right? Jonathan Meir, is he here? Head of the steering committee. So dear guests, dear lecturers from abroad, and distinguished guests here in the auditorium and those watching us online. Ken Yabu, as we say in Hebrew. In his book, Pointing the Way, Professor Martin Buber wrote, quote, "The world is not comprehensible, but it is embraceable through the embracing of one of its beings." These words take on great meaning, especially in these days of severe social polarization. And if I may add, last night we had the Buber lecture, which was given by Daniel Kahneman, and I finally came full out with some words about what's happening out there, so you're welcome to look it up or view it or read the text. Severe social polarization is a great understatement for what's going on. The existential approach that emerges from this quote of Buber is on the common ground between one human being and another in a world where more is hidden than visible, where beings work together is both a necessity and the only possible course of action. In this context, I'm really honored to open this international conference on Martin Buber and his legacy as we celebrate the publication of a 21-volume collection of his writings and philosophy, excuse me, a project born out of a cooperation between the University of Düsseldorf in Germany and the Israel Academy of Sciences and Humanities. The initiator of this collection, distinguished scholar Bernhard Witte, professor of literature at the Heinrich Heine University in Düsseldorf, has unfortunately passed away, as you all know, and is thus sadly not here with us on this special morning, although his spirit definitely hovers above this entire conference. The collection promotes Buber's legacy as well as his contribution to the development of humanity in general. The notion that the other has an integral part in our lives is a central theme in his thoughts. In Buber's own words, we are all connected unconsciously. Although this connection was described by Sartre as hell on earth, in Buber's philosophy it takes on the opposite meaning, seeking a bridge to the other through dialogue, overcoming hell and creating heaven upon earth. Buber, for whom this dialogical approach was a guiding principle when he served as the first president of the Israel Academy of Sciences and Humanities, and since his presidency we're all going downhill, of course. He was just really such a great man. He elevated scientific research through a multidisciplinary approach that combined the natural and exact sciences with the humanities, weaving the core of our research activity here in the Academy and in Israel in general into the cultural fabric within which we operate. This dialogue between sciences and the humanities is not a triviality but a fundamental milestone. Buber saw also great importance in making science accessible to the public, and he worked extensively both in theory but also in practice. He recognized that the constant challenge at the heart of dialogical thinking calls not only for improving our awareness and understanding of life scientifically, but above all, improving ourselves as human beings. In his book, I and Thou, Buber wrote, I'm sure you're all familiar with this quote, but it's just worth stating it again. Just as, it's like a poem, just as the melody is not made up of notes, nor the verse of words, nor the statue of lines, so with the man to whom I say, though I do not meet with him at the same time and place or other. By this notion, Buber expresses that the path to the other begins with the understanding that there is an inherent and immanent primary gap. Buber sought to lessen that gap through dialogue, challenging us all to become closer to one another. Hence, the dialogic process is an invitation to search for common ground, and it is an act of creation by two. When dialogue exists, the two create something new that was not there before. If we accept this challenge as we embark over the next 2 days, you embark, unfortunately for me, on a journey exploring Buber's ideas through speakers from Israel and abroad, and on a variety of topics that illustrate his extraordinary richness of thought. In the quote with which I began, Buber suggests embracing to counteract the incomprehensibility of the world around us, embracing as a primary possibility for human closeness. And finally, embracing to make the world more comprehensible, joyous, and human. So I would like to thank the Academy's organizing committee, Sima Daniel, manager of the Humanities Division, and Dr. Neta Peretz, head of the International Division. Special thanks to our wonderful staff at the Academy, Kochi Maimran, Michael Zagurin, Yaakov Rothman, and our fabulous CEO, Galia Finzi. I wish you all a very inspiring conference. Thank you very much.